I've always felt blessed for my eyesight. Thanks to fate, family, and fortune, I have two clear, healthy eyes, a gift we often take for granted. We assume what we have is a given, forgetting it's a privilege. Adam Anderson, a professor at Cornell, says eyes dominate emotional communication. They're the soul's windows, the first to catch light in our visual system. Subtle changes around them reveal our thoughts and feelings. Anderson found that narrowed eyes signal judgment, disgust, suspicion, or disapproval. Wide eyes, though, hint at sensitivity, fear, curiosity, or awe. Other eye features also show if our mental state is positive or negative. You've likely heard eyes are the soul's windows, and it's true, but there's more. In communication, a glance is a powerful nonverbal key. In poetry, eyes inspire countless works. In magic, they're a formidable weapon. In love, they reach the heart's deepest corners. Eyes are a vast topic we'll never fully explore. Let's start with their allure. Eyes don't just see. For some, they capture, control, or even harm. Recent studies reveal eyes hold a strange power. A chilling tale from a Moscow research institute illustrates this. A strict chief, known for belittling staff, died suddenly after a heated exchange. He'd harshly scolded a subordinate, who silently glared back with intense hatred. The chief clutched his chest, collapsed, and died. Autopsies showed his heart seemed gripped, as if forced to stop, like a clock's pendulum halted. Police found no cause. The man was healthy. The only clue? That furious stare. Many suspect it caused his death. This idea of a lethal gaze isn't new. In 1553, scientist Cornelius Agrippa wrote about women whose angry stares could harm. In 19th century Paris, under the Second Empire, opera singer Masso, famed for his mesmerizing eyes, was linked to eerie incidents. During a performance of Halévy's The Curse, Masso's gaze fixed on a stagehand above. The man fell, dying instantly. In another show, Masso lingered on the conductor, who later died of a nervous breakdown. Advised to look at an empty seat, Masso did. But a late-arriving merchant sat there and died the next day. Shaken, Masso quit performing. These stories hint at eyes' uncanny power, not just to see, but to affect others in ways science is only beginning to understand. Scientists like Princeton's Dr. Persian suggest eyes aren't just receivers, but emitters, like optical systems sending signals. The eyeball and retina resemble a parabolic mirror, reflecting short-wave radiation similar to X-rays or lasers, which can impact the nervous system or body functions. In the iris, specific points connect to organs. A focused stare at, say, the heart zone could disrupt its rhythm. Yogis have demonstrated moving objects with their gaze, suggesting eye emissions mimic laser properties. Science fiction characters who burn enemies with a look might not be far-fetched. Dr. Errol Stevens at Colorado's Vygotsky University ran 800 experiments, finding 90% of subjects emitted bioenergetic radiation via their eyes. At high-frequency millimeter waves, these could physically affect surroundings, sometimes dangerously. Don't underestimate a stare's power. In martial arts, blinking reflects physical and mental health. Weak individuals blink often. Strong ones, trained in combat, blink about 3 times a minute. More blinks signal declining strength. Martial arts wisdom teaches a calm mind keeps eyes clear. Don't let your heart chase chaos, or your eyes will dim, goes an old saying. In daily communication, eyes enhance or replace words, making them the strongest nonverbal tool. Yet, eye contact varies. For some, it's intimate. For others, uncomfortable. Direct gazes work if both parties are at ease, but can seem challenging otherwise. Avoiding eye contact may signal insecurity, making words less trustworthy. Darting eyes suggest shallowness. Dull, lifeless ones imply disengagement. Effective eye communication tips. Look directly but not constantly. Glance around to ease tension. Avoid rapid eye shifts or winking at the opposite sex, unless it's playful. Don't stare at someone's feet. It signals pessimism or guilt, creating unease. Never fixate on physical flaws, even unintentionally, as it sparks negative thoughts. When awaiting a decision, don't pressure with a stare. It may force unwanted agreement. At meals, Avoid watching others eat. It's awkward. Don't let others see you cry, as it puts them in a tough spot. Stable, calm eye contact signals honesty and reliability, boosting communication success. A downward gaze or avoidance might indicate shame or guilt, perhaps from a wrong done. Liars often glance right, tied to the brain's creative side. Crafting deception. A left upward glance suggests recalling past events, linked to memory. These cues help decode others, making eyes a gateway to understanding intentions and emotions in any interaction. Dilated pupils reveal positive emotions, agreement, flattery, or excitement. If someone praises you, their pupils may widen instinctively. Conversely, disagreement, criticism, or negativity causes pupils to contract. Eye contact shapes communication outcomes. Skilled communicators use their gaze to persuade and connect, creating trust. Beyond science, eyes hold a unique place in art. Medically, they work harder than any body part. But they alone express emotions, moods, even a person's spirit. In literature, music, and poetry, eyes inspire timeless works, capturing the soul's depths. In love, eyes are vital. A man's story illustrates this. Growing up, he resented his mother for having one eye, the source of classmates' mockery. She cooked to support his education, but when she visited school, he was mortified. Ignoring her, he shot her a hateful glare and fled. The next day, a classmate taunted, "Your mom's got one eye." Humiliated, he wished she'd vanish. That evening, he lashed out, "You make me a laughingstock." She stayed silent. Blind with anger, he ignored her feelings, desperate to escape her. He studied hard, earning a scholarship to Singapore. There, he built a new life, married, had kids, bought a house. His wife came from wealth, so he hid his mother, claiming he was an orphan. He sent her money and a small house, believing he'd done enough. He forbade contact. Years later, she visited unannounced. His kids mocked her ragged appearance or screamed in fear. Furious, he yelled, "Why scare my kids? Leave!" She softly apologized, saying she'd mistaken the address, and left. He didn't reach out, bitter she might ruin his perfect life. Time passed without contact. Then a letter from his old school invited him to a reunion. He lied to his wife, claiming a business trip, and attended. Curiosity, not care, drew him to his mother's house afterward. Neighbors said she'd died days earlier, with no family to claim her. Social services handled her burial. No tears came. They handed him a letter she'd left. It read, "My dear son, I always think of you. I'm sorry for startling your kids in Singapore. I was thrilled you'd visit your school, but I was too weak to see you. I regret embarrassing you with friends during school. You don't know this, but when you were little, an accident took your eye. I couldn't bear you growing up with one, so I gave you mine. I sold everything for the surgery. I've never regretted it. I'm proud you've become a man, proud of what I did. You've seen a new world through my eye. I love you." Reading this, guilt crushed him. His mother's sacrifice, her eye for his, had shaped his life, yet he'd scorned her. Her love, silent and selfless, lingered in that letter, a final gift. Eyes, in this story, were more than physical. They carried her devotion, his shame, and a truth he'd ignored. This tale, like poetry, shows eyes as emotional conduits, revealing what words can't.com. Scientifically, eyes transmit and receive, but in human bonds, they hold deeper power. They convey love, pain, or regret across time. In communication, a glance can build trust or break it. In art, eyes immortalize fleeting feelings. In life, they bridge souls. This story's lesson? Don't let anger blind you to others' sacrifices. Eyes see beyond the surface, into hearts. For a YouTube audience, this blends science and emotion, showing why eyes fascinate us. They're not just organs, but storytellers, weaving tales of strength, loss, and redemption. If this moved you, like, share, and subscribe for more. Eyes have more secrets to share. Their power, in science or stories, keeps us hooked, urging us to look closer at others, at ourselves. What do your eyes say? They're speaking, even now, to someone, somewhere. Let's keep exploring their mysteries, from ancient myths to modern labs, where eyes continue to captivate and teach us about the human spirit. The man's story lingers, a stark reminder of eyes as more than tools for sight. His mother's single eye, a symbol of her sacrifice, haunted him. He'd seen only her flaw, not her love, until her letter unveiled the truth. She gave her eye so he could see the world. This revelation shattered his resentment, replacing it with awe for her selflessness. Eyes, in this tale, transcend biology. They carry unspoken truths. Science backs this. Studies show eyes emit bioenergetic signals, potentially influencing others, as in the Moscow chief's eerie death or Masso's fatal opera glances. Yet beyond labs, eyes hold emotional weight. In poetry, they're lakes of autumn, vast and deep. In music, they're rivers or wells, holding memories. In war, they're vigilant, piercing borders. These images stick, vibrant and alive, because eyes don't just see, they feel, they speak. In communication, a steady gaze builds trust. A fleeting one betrays doubt. Liars glance right, crafting tales. Honest folks look left, recalling truth. Dilated pupils signal joy, narrowed ones, dissent. These cues, subtle yet profound, shape every interaction. For YouTubers, this mix of science and story captivates. Eyes are a universal language, crossing cultures, eras, histories. They've inspired myths of deadly stares and odes to lovers' gazes. They're why we're drawn to faces, seeking connection. The man's regret teaches us to look deeper, past flaws, to the love beneath. His mother's eye, given freely, let him chase dreams, yet he missed her heart until too late. This resonates with Americans, who value family and redemption, like stories of soldiers returning home or pioneers sacrificing for kin. Eyes tie us to these narratives, reflecting our shared humanity. Eyes fascinate because they're us, our fears, hopes, regrets. They're why we watch, why we feel. So, what's next? More tales of eyes power, from ancient seers to AI decoding glances. Hit like, share, subscribe to dive deeper. Your eyes are watching this screen, but they're also telling your story. What's it saying? Let's find out together, exploring how eyes shape our world, one look at a time. They're not just windows, they're doors to the soul, opening wide if we dare to look back.